Hi guys, welcome to COSC100 tutorial 6 exercise number 3. Now in this exercise we're going to get you to create your first database table using the PG admin tool in the PostgreSQL database management system. So in the Postgres database management system, if we bring up the window here, you can see that the Windows has our object browser off to the left here, and we have some information windows off to the right. And if we drill down into our databases, you should be able to find the COSC100 database that you created as part of the setup instructions in exercise number 2. If we open this one out, we can drill down into the schemas item, and then further down into the public item, and finally down into the tables area. Now you can see that in this situation I don't have any tables in this database because it's brand new. So I'm going to start by creating our first table, which will be our customer table. So if I copy the SQL code here using the Control-C or Apple Command-C key if I'm on a Mac, I can copy that into a query sheet. So up on the toolbar here, we've got this SQL query tool, and if we click this one up, we get our query window opened. Now, to create, so this query window has several panes. On the left hand side here, we have the SQL editor. So this is where the SQL statements that we want to execute will be entered. On the right hand side, we have this scratch pad area. This is where we can just put snippets of SQL that we're working on. It allows us to formulate our queries. And down the bottom is the data output pane. It has some different tabs here. We'll mainly be working with the data output and messages tab. So if I cut and paste my code into the SQL editor pane here, you can see that the table create statement has appeared, and I can run that by pressing the green play button up the top here, the execute query button. When I do that, there's a message delivered down here in the output pane that indicates that my query has been successfully executed. And when we create a table, it doesn't return any result, so we have no result returned. Now, if we go back to our main Postgres window, you can see that inside the tables area here, the tables item, it still says there's 0 tables. But if we hit the refresh item, you see straight away that our customer table has actually appeared. Now, if we go and have a look, if we right click on this table, we can bring up the view data tool. When we go into here, you can see that there's no data in our table as of yet. So we've created our database table. Now it's time to populate it with some data. Here I've given you 4 rows of sample data to enter into our table to get us started. So I'm going to copy all of those. So again, copy, and if we paste those into our SQL window, so we can delete our create table statement because it's been successfully executed. Now we paste our insert statement, move the cursor back up to the first row, and hit the execute query. You can see that we've had a message here that's down the bottom that indicates that our query has successfully been executed. Now, because we've executed multiple rows at once, it'll only return one result for the final row in the PSQL tool, in the query tool here. But if we go back to our table and we go and view the data, we can see that we've got 4 brand new rows of data that have been entered into our customer table. So your task for this exercise is to construct insert statements for these items of data. So we're going to be creating your own set of insert statements for these. So I'm going to make this really quick, I'm going to copy the data from my table here, and I'm going to paste that into my worksheet. I'll do that down below here just so I can tell what I'm looking at. I'll just make that a little bit bigger so you can see that as well. So if I paste those in, and we can go grab the first part of our insert query. So remember, with an insert query, we have the insert into keywords, followed by our table name, followed by the values keyword. We can then go and put our single quotes around our character type items. So we single quote each of our items and finish up with a semicolon. So we can go and complete that item. That's for the other 2 rows of data here. Again, comma separate our items, single quote any of the string items, and finish up with the semicolon. So as long as we remember to complete those tasks, we shouldn't have any problem inserting our data. So we don't need these old rows of data. Now we're ready to insert our remaining 3 customers into our database table. That query has successfully executed, so we can go back and view our data using the data view tool. You can see now we have 7 rows of data in our database table. So that's all we have to complete for exercise number 3. That's just to get you started using the PSQL tool. Thanks for listening, guys.